we're doing here? We're putting a human on top of a missile, shooting him into space, and it's never been done before. I need a mathematician that can look beyond the numbers. Math that doesn't yet exist. Before the Russians plant a flag on the damn moon.
You have someone?
Running what I'm playing.
Catherine's the gal for that. She can handle any numbers you put in front of her.
Don't embarrass me.
This wasn't emptied last night?
I'm sorry, I'm not the...
There's nothing more gratifying than being part of telling a story that does work on so many levels. And of all the things about this, my favorite part of it is that it's very layered as far as, you know, space exploration was a very important human event and was a very uniting human event, certainly in our country. And we have that here, and that's playing out. Then off of that, underneath that, above that, I can't tell where, you have a civil rights issue playing out with the way African Americans are being treated. And connected to that, you have a gender equality issue playing out, the way women are being treated. And so it's this triangle of three major things, and three major things that are still with us as a society.
You're a computer at NASA. They let women handle that sort of...
Yes, it's an uphill battle.
Yes, they let women do some things at NASA, Mr. Johnson. And it's not because we wear skirts. It's because we wear glasses.
A lot of people will not have heard this story, and the first time I read this story, the one part of it that seemed fictitious to me was that there were these women who were so integral to getting us into space. And it was outlandish in a country that has been so proud, rightfully so, of their space program. And as someone who grew up in this country watching at least the launches from the late 70s on, how did we never hear of people that were so important? And maybe that's the best part of this at all, for me at all, is it is a huge element of surprise from a real life situation.
No protocol for women attending.
There's no protocol for a man circling the Earth either, sir.
Every time we have a chance to get ahead, they move the finish line. Every time.
We all get there together, or we don't get there at all.
I rarely work on anything where you don't get along with a lot of people. Movie making can be very, very fun, and it can also be very, very frustrating at times, and so it's usually important to keep a pretty good attitude, and most people do. When you get to work on a project like this, though, where everyone buys into it and everyone has a certain sense of, this is a really important story we're telling, that colors everything. That colors everything, and you do feel like you are a real troop together at that moment.
Yeah, it's good to know NASA hadn't given up on good old-fashioned brain power.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I was still in LA when they started shooting, and so I was working on the TV show at day, and then at night I'd be working on this, and I would have questions come up, and I would not understand things, and I could email him, and within an hour I always got a reply. And this is while he's here working. But the same is true now. We are in the middle, we've got 4 more days of shooting left here, and just yesterday morning, his day off, Sunday, I was over at his house. He called me over because we're gonna shoot a scene tomorrow that needed reworking. And I just, you know, I think that kind of thing always pays off in the end, and you see the effects of that in the final product, even if you don't know it. That extra work, that extra attention to detail, you know. But it comes from joy. He loves this job, and he specifically loves this project, and so he's just willing to swim in it.